I didn't know if I'd like Japan. I feel like so many people hype it up, but I can't always believe that. I'll show you everything we ate, but I also want to share some things I noticed as a first-time American traveler. First, there's a lot of food in Tokyo. It was overwhelming for Doug and I to just pick one spot, but also a ton of people were out eating too. On a Friday night at 10 p.m., we were thankful to find seats and eat ramen. It was super simple, but already way better than ramen I've had back at home. Doug and I decided to stay at this super nice hotel just for a couple days because we got a fat deal through our credit card. This was the most impressive hotel breakfast I've had. The food was high quality and everything I had tasted great. Our favorites were these Japanese green melons that tasted like candy. We keep a very loose itinerary, and we didn't know what we wanted for lunch, so we just ate at a sushi spot in the train station. We had no idea it was tied to a research institute. The meals were good, and I guess bonus points for the fish being sustainable. And by loose itinerary, I mean I just have a list of food I want to eat in Japan. And Mitsu was one of them. We watched a show where a Japanese salaryman obsesses over this dessert and I had to have it. It reminded me of Filipino halo-halo with a medley of jellies, beans, fruits, and more. Okay, check this out. There's spots where you pay for food at a ticket machine, which I thought was fascinating. You bring it to the counter and our noodles came out in like 2 minutes tops. It's meant for you to just sit, eat, and leave, so we saw lots of people who got off of work eating here. Food wasn't mind-blowing, but it was still a decent bowl of noodles. On our way back to the hotel, I saw a stall in the train station making fresh warabi mochi. It's like a more jelly-like version of the mochi that we're familiar with, and it's typically dusted with a roasted soybean powder and topped with brown syrup. So good. This day, we actually did something that wasn't just food-related. Teamlabs is, okay, pretend it's like an art museum, but a light theme park version where they have you take off your shoes. Your whole body goes through these exhibits that are meant to stimulate your senses. My feet were feeling things I don't typically feel on a daily basis. This was another spot that I thought was all hyped up, but it's actually really cool. I'm not super into artsy museum stuff, but this was awesome. And then we had vegan donuts and coffee. Oh, the night before, Doug and I went to Muji and grabbed a bunch of snacks. We ate some of those outside of Teamlabs to tide us over before dinner.
Not spicy.
There was no way I was going to Japan and not have uni, aka sea urchin. We found a spot in the old Tsukiji market that served 5 types of uni from all across Japan. It was a pricey bowl for sure, but we had to try it. The uni was so fresh, and I couldn't believe how different some of the uni varieties tasted from each other. Doug also ordered some sushi on this side, very plump and fresh as well. We always gotta have dessert. This spot had a long line the first time we went here, but our friend recommended it. We skipped out that first time, but this time the line only took 20 minutes. It was worth it. The desserts weren't crazy sweet, and it's got the ingredients that I love. Matcha, hojicha, warabi mochi, all that good stuff. You know, the thing with sushi, I don't know about you, but I get hungry really quickly right after. So we went to good old 7-Eleven. Doug went for an onigiri, but I wanted something lighter. Their chawanmushi, which is a savory egg custard, was so good and hit the spot. Okay, the hotel gave us credit for food, so we used it on their afternoon tea. It's strawberry season, so everything you see here had strawberry in it. Yes, even the savory ones. There was like a borscht meat one with strawberry. This whole thing was super fancy, but it tasted good. Before we left Tokyo, we met up with a friend who recently moved to Japan. He recommended this gyokatsu spot and said it was really good. I just thought it was another meat spot, nothing special, but this was actually superb. The meat was so fat and flavorful, and you don't even have to heat it up if you don't want to. Just grabbing little things at the vending machine before our bullet train to the city of Sendai. This is where my obsession for this canned sweet corn soup started. I had like 8 of these on the trip. That's it for the day. We planned to sleep when we got to the hotel and explore the town the next day. You guys, it was really cold in Tokyo. It's even colder here in Sendai. But that's not stopping us when I'm hungry, so we headed to their market that's held every day except for Sundays. We got this mochi with zunda paste on top. It's a sweet edamame paste, and this specialty food is really why we're here in the first place. More on that later. We also got fried chicken, fried quail eggs, and got really excited for a bread vending machine, only to find out it was... It's frozen. Another Sendai specialty is gyutan, or beef tongue. We just lined up here because it had the longest line. I heard that's how they do it in Japan. Is this true? Anyway, this is so good. Top 5 for sure. I recommend getting the thicker cut. It's juicier and I like the feeling when I bite through it. Is it okay that Doug and I just went to Sendai because we watched an anime and the character goes to this specific shop to eat the zunda cream mochi? Well, it was worth it. Sweet and salty, zunda is my new favorite mochi. They also had a sweet edamame milkshake. I tasted more milk than edamame. Try it if you're into that. So this snack, take a corn dog and replace a hot dog with fish cake. Solid. I really want another one of these again. Ooh, I found the one thing I didn't enjoy in Japan. And I'm sad because I really wanted to like it. It's called sea squirt or sea pineapple. I love abalone, gooey duck, sea cucumbers, all the seafood. But not this. I think that orange part gets a really strong metallic-y flavor. Or like, you know that aftertaste when you have an artificial sweetener like Splenda? Multiply that by 5 and the taste just lingers in your mouth. Did we just get a bad one? Other than that, all the other dishes they had here were delicious. Oh god. Doug, I'm not prepared for this. I left my boots in Tokyo not thinking that it would snow here. As if that wasn't crazy enough, an earthquake hit while I was washing my face. Doug and I were shook, but it was kind of a fun way to start the day. Amid all that excitement, we got hungry really fast and decided to grab an onigiri from the nearby mall that had a seasoned egg inside. Reminded me of like a Scotch egg. It was so flavorful, sweet, and salty. This is just to keep us full until the spot we wanted to go to opened. I really wanted an ikura rice bowl, and apparently Sendai has some good ones. Ikura are salmon eggs, but this one that we got was alright. Doug went for a beef tendon and egg rice bowl. It was way better. And their beef nigiri was awesome too. If you go here, just go for the beef. As much as we wanted to hang out in Sendai, and as beautiful as it is with the snow, it's too cold. We were ready to go back to Tokyo. That night, we hit up this yokocho alley, which I guess is pretty popular. Lots of people had their cameras and tripods out, so I wasn't sure if the food here was gonna be any good. We sat at one that looked like it was pretty dead too, but I really wanted to try their izakaya. This ended up in my top 5. They had skewers wrapped in caul fat, liver that was super tender, and we even got this comforting little stew. I was pleasantly surprised, and turns out the shop wasn't empty. It had an upstairs area where people were shuffling in and out of. I'm so thankful we went with our gut on this one. It seemed like locals were eating at the neighboring shops too. We're staying at a new hotel, and the food was a good mix of Japanese and American dishes. We had our fill here before we walked through a residential area to meet Benji at a coffee shop. It was so nice walking through that area, so cozy. Made me feel like I was in a Ghibli film. This coffee is delicious. But guess what? I got a latte. A whole fat milk latte because they didn't have alternative milks. But guess what? My lactose intolerance did not hit. I did not get a stomach ache. Their milk must be different. Ah yes, this is where you go to eat as many raw eggs as you want. But Doug decided to get the oyakodon, which is a chicken and egg rice bowl instead. It's definitely the best oyakodon we've both ever had. It was so tender and the flavors were beautifully balanced. I did get the all-you-can-eat eggs and I wanted to try all 5 they had that day. One of them tasted like yuzu. You're supposed to eat it with the egg mixed into the rice, but I slurped up the egg. I can't eat 5 whole rice bowls, but I can try 5 eggs. I wouldn't do it ever again, but I'm glad I did it at least once. The first time I tried Nana's green tea was in Waikiki, Hawaii. That location is closed now, but it was so good. This spot was okay. I definitely favored the first matcha dessert spot we went to earlier in this video. But that's okay, because we went to a pretty solid spot for our final meal this first week in Japan. Our friend Yakitori Guy got us a reservation for Hop du Vel, which is a yakitori and Belgian beer restaurant. The chef is his friend, and he's awesome. He served us the same course that he served Yakitori Guy the last time he saw him. The most memorable skewer I had here was the one with chicken ovary. It looks like an egg yolk and it tastes like it too. I highly recommend having that when you go here. Also, Doug is really into craft beer, and he said that Hop du Vel had some really good beers available. So if you're also a craft beer fan, check this spot out. And that wraps up our first week. I felt like we did a lot, but I also feel like it's a bit more relaxed compared to other people's itineraries. Wake up, eat, walk some more, eat some more. There will be a week 2 and week 3 video, so stay tuned for those. And if you got this far, write egg yolk in the comment section. And tell me which of these dishes stuck out to you the most. See you in the next video!